All right, good morning, everybody. We will get started in just a few minutes. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stock Analysis Friday. Great to have you here. Today is November 14th, 2025, and welcome. All right, purpose of Stock Analysis Friday, I want you to share some stocks with us today, and I'll analyze that based on my experience in trading the financial markets. I've been doing this now for over 30 years, and I'm going to give you some insights on what to look for and what not to in terms of what you want me to look at. Also, too, remember to type them in caps. That helps me see them well, and also do no more than 3 at a time. That way we keep the flow going. And let me know if you're long or short or thinking about it. Okay, that's also very helpful. All right, let me go through a few administrational items here, and then we'll kick it in, okay? First thing I want to talk about are the risks involved in trading. Like I always say, without those risks, there is no opportunity. So the two really do go hand in hand. But you need to be aware of the risks, and that's the important part, and also know how to do risk control on each and every trade. I've got a couple of books dedicated just to that I'll share with you in just a moment. But also, too, always trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital, and realize we deal in a realm of probabilities, not certainties. So you can do everything right, you can follow your strategy perfectly, and still end up at a loss. So you always have to use risk control. And then finally, any opinions that I share about a particular market we look at today, remember, they're my opinions based off my experience, and you need to do your own independent research and also to run that by your financial advisor as well, because they know your personal situation and I don't. Some may be suitable for you, some of my suggestions, and some may not. All right, so just keep that in mind. A couple books on risk control I promised you. Here they are. But, my latest book, The Art of Trading, second from the left, that's the second edition. And basically that came out this year and it's got everything in it. So I recommend getting that book. It's a big book, about 603 to 608 pages. And it has risk control in it, but it also has a lot of other good stuff on today's markets. So you might want to check that out. It was published by Wiley for me. And then I have Elliott Wave Techniques Simplified as well, which is another form of technical analysis. And that book was published by McGraw-Hill. All right, so you can check those out. I'll put a link below at the bottom. So if you're watching the recording, you can check them out that way. We're going to use some indicators that I created called the ART software. We also have scanners to scan the market. And we also have very important risk control software as well that helps you calculate your trade size on each and every trade. So definitely check that. There'll be a link at the bottom. But also, too, Jean is putting the links in the live chat right now. Thank you, Jean. She just put the one for the books, and she'll probably put the ones for the software if you're interested as well in that. All right, give us a like before we get started. That helps the channel. And just a quick talk here a little bit about the markets overall. You know, we're going up right now. We've had some pullback. We're going to see some volatility. We got some key levels we're watching. And I share this information in a service we call the MOR report, which stands for Market Opportunity Report. Everybody should have this. It's an inexpensive report. It includes a weekly update along with a video on what I'm talking about, so you can visually see it as well as read it. And then in there also are our stock picks for the week. So it's not only a market observation service, but it was also a stock picking service, and it's very inexpensive. Gene will put a link up there eventually for that, and I will put one for sure in the recording. The other thing we kicked off this month, I don't know if you saw it, but we did report it if you want to view it. And we're doing every month a monthly trading education workshop, about half an hour long, sometimes an hour. But the bottom line is we cover a different topic every week. So we talked a lot about the art software last week, and you can find that here on YouTube. The recording is on YouTube. But these are great. We're doing them every month, like I said. I think the next one is December 13th. All right. So if you're on our email list or on our YouTube page here, you can find it, click notify button, and that way you won't miss it. And then also, too, I'm pretty excited about my advanced price action Trading Made Easy course come up, and I added the words Trading Made Easy because price action can be pretty darn complicated. So I'm going to try to strip it down as much as I can for you. We're going to cover a variety of different concepts that are out there. We're going to talk about, fair value gaps, inversion fair value gaps. We're going to talk about taking liquidity out and what liquidity sweeps are. We're going to, and how you can identify them easily and add that to any strategy you have. Then we're going to talk about some basics like bull and bear flags. We're going to talk about some of the algos out there that work their way towards these equity sweeps and so forth. Overnight sessions, morning sessions. That's covered a little bit on the ICT, smart money concepts. So it's going to be covering a little bit of everything. It'll be a great introduction for you, and definitely some concepts I'm going to share with you that you can add to improve your trading right away. All right, so that's kind of what I wanted to share with you early this morning. And then I want to go over, before I get to the stock picks here, I see them coming in, great. I want to go over Bitcoin a little bit. So we took out the low previously, so we swept that low here. Let me just see if this works here. All right, give me a second. Once again, I got to reignite my pointer. I think for some reason when I do the slideshow, something happens, and then once I redo it, it's okay. All right, so here was the previous equity right here, okay? It swept that. We've got pyramids coming to the downside. Did a nice job with identifying that. So where's it going to stop? Well, if you look on the weekly chart, which is over here, this is the daily chart. If you look at the weekly chart, we see, okay, some area in here where we have a fair value gap. All right. So I imagine it's shooting for that somewhere in there. Well, the encroachment's about 50%. So that's going to be right about in that area. So probably getting down around the 90,000 mark. I think we dipped a little bit below and bounced up. So maybe we're getting rejection already. But we had some support structure here, probably an order block here, okay, that kind of acted as support there. And that happened to be in the fair value gap. Now, my only concern with this is that I kind of like it to go 50% at least into the fair value gap. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes we get a bounce from here, goes up, and then comes back down. I kind of think that's what's going to happen. All right. Now, we do have a green PTF, which is one of my indicators, 75% accuracy rate about. And basically, that's indicating we should return and make a higher high, all-time high. So the way, way you use that indicator is when it's green, look at the highest price in the green area. and there's a 75% probability we will eventually come back and take it out. So my bias is still bullish, okay? Notice we bounced off the trend line as well in the weekly chart here, but even if we go into this area here, I remain bullish because I expect to see a return back to the upside. So I think we got one more leg up, maybe by the end of the year, starting probably in the next week or two, if not sooner, and then get to more highs late this year or early next year on Bitcoin. So buying opportunity coming up. I wouldn't buy yet. It's still working its way down. All right, so I just wanted to quickly share that one. And now we're going to jump in and see what we got. Ed, how are you doing? Okay, PSIX. So Ed says potential new buy. Okay, so we're going to take a look at it. All right. And when we look at ones like from last week, you feel free to bring those back. Okay, I know we looked at this before, but we weren't quite ready to act on it. So bring this back and we'll take another look. All right, so what do we notice right away? Well, we've got two green PTFs, right? So we can certainly look for a long position after this correction's over. We also have on the weekly chart over here a nice price bar that formed last week with a nice long wick. Okay, I like that. So, excuse me, once you see a wicked price bar like that, where the close is above the upper part of the wick, all right, that's a good sign because, basically the bears drove it down, okay, and then the bulls pushed it up. And that usually also represents some type of possible manipulation and equity sweep, okay? So we got the equity sweep over here, okay? And we've got this small fair value gap sitting right here, and look at that, okay? So let's see what happens with that. We're retracing back in to the actual price bar. And this is the kind of stuff I'm going to go over in that advanced price action course, is that we're going to look for a certain percentage retracement on this wick. And once that is achieved, we should, if that bottom's going to hold, we'll get a bounce off that. So, Ed, I think we're really close. Okay, super close. I would probably wait on this just a little bit longer. You could even draw a little trend line down on the daily chart like that if you wanted to make it almost like a bull flag, and don't go long until we break above that. Otherwise, once you take the course, you'll be learning more about what we're looking for in terms of a retracement in the marketplace, okay? So in that price bar, rather. Okay, so that's kind of where we are at that. I think this definitely should go on the watch list for us to take a look at next week, okay? All right, let's take a look at your next one, CYH. CYH. All right, so this one too is a potential new buy. All right, green PTFs. Ed, you must be scanning for green PTFs. I love it. All right, so good job on that, finding those. All right, now again, like the other one, it's not quite ready. It's darn close though. But let's take a look at this weekly chart over here. What do we have over here? You should be able to see it now, really without me even saying. I'll just open that up a little bit. Besides the pyramid there, what do you see? Fair value gap, right? Here to here. You see it? Okay, so pretty easy to see them once you get attuned to looking for them, right? So fair value gap here and here. Now, if we close below that fair value gap and close below the order block before it, that's bearish, okay? Then this becomes an inversion fair value gap, right? And so that means we use it almost as an area to enter a short trade if that's the case. Now, what could happen is we could come down a little bit more, okay? And as long as we don't breach that bad boy, or close below that bad boy, sometimes they wick it. Then at that particular point, once we climb and see a reversal and close above here, you can go long, okay? And that's a weekly chart. So that would be, and then at that particular point, you're targeting up here because that's where the PTF is telling you it's going. So that's why I like the PTF. A lot of people like use old equity levels, but when the PTF aligns with those equity levels, it's really powerful. So again, not quite ready yet. All right. And on this one here, it's a little different. You don't necessarily, I mean, you could draw a trend line here, but until we get above, or at least that rejection off here, I don't think I would go long on that one. So it's a little different. Okay. Anyway, so watch list for this one too. Okay. None of these are really bad. The timing's just not quite right yet. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at your last one up there. FICO. Kind of like Fido. FICO. All right. And you're up on this one. So you're looking to add. Ooh, I love that. All right. So let's take a look here. All right. We looked at this one before too. Notice how on this one here, we drew that trend line. And look, that's why you're up probably, right? So you bounced off here, but also too, you have a set of pyramids here for the longs. Okay. That's our software at work there for you. And the software is taking a look at key levels of price action. So that's a good thing. We got to get over this bad boy here, okay? And you have a bearish fair value gap here, all right? And that's why you're getting rejection down off that. Now, what's going to be interesting here is that the weekly chart is bullish, no question about it. Let's just take a look a little bit closer. I'm going to move the flag line here. And let's just take a couple looks at some things here. All right. Well, I don't have to tell you there's a huge gap here, right? Okay, we filled that. All right. So that's out of the question. So let's take a look at this leg up that we had here. So I'm liking this. We had a change in structure up. You want to see that, right? All right. We have a fair value gap sitting right in here. Okay. So we kind of have a funky one there, kind of a little bit. But okay, so there's where we are there. So we didn't quite come down all the way to it, but we're seeing some rejection here. Okay, so that's a good sign. Probably you could draw a trend line again over here for another bear flag for the add-on. Okay, that's kind of the way I would do it. Now, your stop's got to be at this pyramid at the bottom. Okay, you need to keep it there. All right. If you can't, and you have to have a little bit higher stop for trade size, then put it here. Okay. Do not put it in here. Okay, because it's very possible it'll run that before it goes up. All right, so maybe the bull flag, and if it closes, not breaks above it, but closes above it, then you've got an opportunity there. Okay, so hopefully that helped. All right, let's keep going here. Ed is back. Ed, you have been busy. All right, we looked at this bad boy, Joby, and we looked at that last week. And let's see what they got cooking for here. All right, so we had to move down, move up. Anything that we see here, we got two PTFs that are bullish. I like that. Pyramids are saying we're kind of in a range. Nice thing is when you get a range like this, you can also make it into a pennant. Let's see how I want to do. I think I want to do that like that. All right, so that's the pennant. Wait for a break for a potential buy on that. Let's see if we can narrow that down a little bit here. I'm thinking probably fair value gap here and here. And then we have a bullish one here. Okay, bearish one here. Okay, so look, I'm going to just do something real quick here. So this is kind of a toughie, all right? So you got a bearish one here, all right? And yet at the same time, you got a bullish one down here. Okay, I won't draw that one in. And I didn't draw that one in very straight, did I? But okay, so we need to close above that so it doesn't turn into an inversion, right? So if it comes up here, inverts and goes lower, it might test this bottom, form a double bottom, or even take it out. So we need to get a close above here, you know, above this price bar here, before I would probably buy that, okay? And even that is probably going to still be inside the channel. I mean, inside the weekly pennant. All right, so that's kind of where I would be on that. So I guess I would hold off a little bit longer on that. All right. And SMCI. And the pyramids are pointing down still in that weekly chart. Okay. So green PTF, but we just had one turn red, right? So it's not coming done coming down. Let's see what we got cooking over here. That's a big move down since this entire 2024 area here at this move here. That's not a normal wave 4 retracement. So that was a trend killer basically on that. So now we got a bearish pyramid here. Okay. We've got red PTF, red here. Yes, we have a green PTF here, but you read from left to right. So what's going to happen on the daily chart should happen before the weekly chart. So we're still heading down. That's not even close yet. Okay, so don't touch that. Might get a rebound, but that's all it should be. All right, KTOS. All right, so this is one we looked at and drew a fib retracement, so I'm liking that. All right, so we came back down, and let's take a look here. And this is a beauty. Okay, so I mean, this is just great. All right, first of all, let's look at the owl. Very strong here. So the market's still strong. What we've got is some profit taking and moves down. But look at this. Okay, look at what we have sitting right here. And we're starting to see some rejection on that. Our friend, the fair value gap, right? With an order block sitting in the structured area right in here. Okay, so we have some rejection there. I'd like to see it close above the fair value gap. All right, before I'd say probably it's okay to take a long here. So again, this is where this kind of price action education can help you a lot. So you also too have a downtrend still in place here. It doesn't take an astroscience just to figure that, right? So we're still moving down. So we've got to have a little more follow through the upside on this, but I like it, but I just don't think it's quite ready. So that's another one adding to the watch list. Now, a couple things I want to say, Ed's got some really good ones here. All right, but they're not quite ready yet, right? So this is a prime example of you all should be building watch lists. So when you look at a market, all right, and you find something pretty good, but not quite yet, put that on your watch list. And you can add that to, Ninja Trader's got a scanner. You could create a new tab and add these ones to a watch list tab. Create that. Same thing with TradeStation or any of the major platforms, right? So this is how you build an ongoing watch list and you never run out of opportunities. All right, Gene has posted another link. Okay, this is for the free Saturday education to attend that. So thank you, Gene. All right, there's a playlist we created for the recordings. All right, Frank, now you got WIM short with profit. I think you might mean IWM, right? I think you are an IWM guy. All right, so let's start with that. I don't think you mean, I think you have a typo there, but you let me know. All right. All right. So, okay, so he's short with a profit, and we had a little bit of a rebound here. Okay. I don't know what kind of profit you have, but what do you see right away? All right. Red PTFs. We're not done with this move down. You can hold this. Okay. Now, we've got a couple things that will happen. We'll probably get a bounce here. It looks like we might be getting it now. All right. So that's, that's okay. But look at this huge fair value gap here left. Okay. And in the course, I'll talk about what fair value gaps mean and why they form and how the institutions, look for them. Okay. And also help them form. All right. So you've got some pretty nice sized price bars with a reversal coming in here now. Could we get another move up above? Possibly, but I don't think we're going to get above this fair value gap, this bearish one. So I'd put your stop above the order block up here. Okay. And that's where it would be for right now. When these start to turn yellow, okay, which is shooting way down here, then you can exit. So that may be the overall target unless this gets stopped right here, okay? So encroachment here, bring it back next week and we'll start talking about taking partials, okay? All right. Lowell, how are you? Okay, looking for long entries on the following. BTU. BTU. Let's get that typed in there. All right, BTU. Looking for long entry. Okay, so we got green PTFs. Well, you guys must be using our scanner and scanning for the green PTFs. You are, good. That's exactly what they're designed to do. All right, so we had a nice move down. Let's see if we can draw some fibs in here. And let me see where I want to attach them. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we'll bring those up here to here like that. So we hit that. And let me just open this up for a second and slide that over, getting a little wonky over here. Okay, so let's see what we got there. All right, so what do you see in terms of price action and where this market's pullback stopped on the first run? What do you see on the left-hand side chart? Well, a couple things, right? We've got some congestion here. All right, with an order block here, accumulation, right? So we also have here, not only do we have that, but our friend once again appears, Mr. Fair Value Gap, okay? Now, isn't that something? Had that price bar know how to stop right there? All right? How did it know? Well, Fair Value Gap, order block, and there you go. The power of identifying these and learning about price action is absolutely imperative in trading the financial markets, okay? Our software, all right, works in conjunction with this stuff, and it is a big benefit to learn it. All right, we also got a very nice candlestick over here that also got stopped in this fair value gap. Then we got another one down here, and then another one down here. Okay, so are we going to shoot for those lower fair value gaps? That's always the $1 million question. All right. My feeling is we don't have an ABC here, so we might go lower and shoot for one more of those lower fair value gaps on the weekly, but we will see. So what do? Well, at this particular point, if we break above here, you can add a position on, all right, and maybe keep a little bit in reserve because your stop's going to need to go down below this order block here for you to make the next big leg up, okay? So let's wait and take a look at this next week, but it's looking pretty good. And you can wait for a pyramid as well to form in that situation as well. Because really all you have here is a move up. We don't really have a break in structure yet, do we? Okay, and that's what the pyramid makes sure of. So you got to kind of wait on this. Okay, we could take another dip down on that one. All right, BA and C. All right, give me 1 second. Sorry about the cough, everybody. Let's see what we got here. All right, so slide that over there. All right, so we got a red PTF, a lot of wicks at the top, especially on the weekly chart. No long position on this one. AAAU, let's take a look at that one. Okay, my only problem with this, all right, is this needs to be probably a quick trade versus something that is going to go up, 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 simply because look at the weekly chart. I mean, you're getting in at the premium level. I don't like to buy up here, okay? This chart, however, we've had a little bit of a move down there. I think some of the others might be better, but let's just draw some fibs in here real quick and see. So we've got that situation. We got a green PTF. So notice we got another move down though too as well. So it filled this gap here. So if you wanted to basically go long up here and scalp just a few points, you could. Let's see here where the fib extension would be. So if that is a bottom that's going to hold, we're looking at 45 to 49, and we're at 40 and a half. All right. Now, when you get to this wave 5, so this would be a wave 5, right? 5, 3, 4. That 5 will be a wave 3 on this. And then after that, you're going to get a bigger decline into the 30s, right? Probably maybe even to the upper 20s. So you got to be careful here. Okay, it can't be one. You got to be really on top of this one and scalp. When you scalp it up here, these pyramids will turn yellow, and then you look for a tight stop at that point. Okay, that's AAAU. Let's see. Do we want to put this on our watch list? If you're a scalper and you want to scalp a few points, 10%, you can. Otherwise, there might be some more significant moves you could get. All right. Thank you, Lowell. All right. Al, how are you? LHX, rather. LHX. Let me type that bad boy in here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Long with a question mark. So should he do it? Okay. My only problem with this one is you're getting in late to the party. Okay. You've got some huge wicks that formed up here. So that is a lot of rejection. Okay. That concerns me a little bit. We don't have any green PTFs, and we're seeing consolidation here as well. So my question is no. All right. I would not go in here. I think we're going to probably come down to probably a level like around 264 to 238. And then when you get down there, I think that we look for a bottom. Okay. So let's see what happens with that. We've got a lot of structure here and here. So we'll see. Okay. Thank you, Al. All right. Let's see what we got here. Stuart, how are you? Okay. SNOW. Mr. Snow, we looked at this before. Any thoughts on profit levels or take some money off the table? Okay. So if we use the trend line, I guess we drew that last week, right? The trend line got broken. Okay. So that couldn't be a reason alone right there to take some money off the table. All right. So, here it is broken here. Now, let's just take a look and see, though. You got a green PTF here, right? So you've got a fair value gap sitting right here. And where is that bad boy? Pretty high one there. Okay. And then you've got accumulation area here and another one down in here. All right. So we're getting a little bit of rejection. You can see it today. Okay. On the price bar, see it off that fair value gap. We've got a area here that we designated as a possible fib retracement area if this is not a new trend. So in other words, if this is going to turn and go back down, we're in that area where it could happen. And I'm trying to say we got some pyramids here and here. I think a stop, big stop on this pyramid is perfect. Pyramid formed right below the order block. So the way the pyramids work, they're triangular. So they take into account price action. And in doing so, they'll also take into account order blocks from time to time when they're there. So the stop goes at the bottom, all right, and a new trade or add-on can go here at the top. So that bottom is right below the order block. So that's where your hard stop needs to be. Now, in terms of taking some off the table, you certainly could do that. However, okay, I don't know how much profit you're sitting in, but you still have this bullish and this pretty bullish. So my gut feeling is that this pullback is going to be followed by another high. Okay. So you can make a decision on that, and you could draw in here a pennant almost. Here, I'll do that a little bit better with this. Okay. So then you have that. And then you have a situation here where you want to see prices break above that upper line that's sloping down to make sure we're back on track. Okay. So when this PTF turns yellow, that's kind of when I would think I'd be looking to scale out before being stopped out. All right. Thank you. All right, Stuart in San Diego. I hear you're going to get some rain here there pretty soon. I think it's coming towards us too. All right, Edward back. Edward back. RCAT. Let's see about RCAT. 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 All right, potential new buy. Okay. All right, not quite yet. Okay, it's still sloping down. Notice how it hit this target and now is moving down. So green PTF, but you know that green PTF, let's just see what happens with this. This keeps tunneling down. This may go ahead and turn to red, but we may find support in these areas here. Let me just take a look at this area here. Yeah, you don't want to do this one, okay? Just scrap it, and I'll tell you why. Because we have a bullish fair value gap here, okay? We need to get over that before we consider it, because right now, if we come up to it and hit the encroachment, I would short it. All right, the encroachment's going to be right there, okay? So what I would look for on this one is eventually a move back up into this area. And if this fair value gap holds, then that's a short, okay? But for right now, let's see what happens, okay? If it moves up and closes above it, then it's a long, all right? So we'll have to wait and see. So just no go on that right now. All right, I was back with Netflix. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot one of yours, Ed. Hold on. Tesla, sorry. Tesla, yes. Let's take a look at Tesla because that has been slamming on down. All right, into our, oh boy, look at that. A fair value gap, okay? So we're back into the fair value gap. All right, we drew this last week and prices were way up here, right? So look what happened, okay? Not by accident, folks. Okay, so we're in the fair value gap. We're right at the encroachment area, which is kind of cool. It's going to be right about here, okay? And basically, the encroachment area is nothing more than a 50% area inside the fair value gap, all right? So order block down here, all right? So this trend line we took as a potential area to scale out in case it went down to the order block, and it did. All right, so now at this point here, I'm looking for rejection at some point to move up. You got to be careful here because we could go lower into the order block. All right, sometimes these things go all the way down here to the order block before we see a reversal. So don't just buy because it's in the order block. You got to wait for solid rejection. And we're seeing rejection here, which I like as well. So probably one more high coming, but too early to get too excited. However, I will tell you that's a nice reversal bar right there, okay? So we kind of got rejection there. We've got to close above here. Let me see what I want to do with that. That is a pretty good rejection. Let's see how this problem is it's happening now. So let's see how this baby closes today. And if you wanted to put a buy one tick above here, all right, then that would be okay and have it fill next week sometime, hopefully, okay? If it takes out the low and keeps going down here, then it's going down a little deeper. But actually, that's okay. Now that I look at it, it went close enough into the rejection area, and this is a bullish bar. But let's see how it closes today because it could reverse. And also, let's see if it can prices can climb above it on Monday. All right. So glad I relooked at that one. All right, Netflix, NF, or NFX. Okay, so Tesla, I'm going to put it on the watch list because it's not quite ready yet, but close. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, Netflix is still meandering here. We've got an area here that I think is a good fib retracement that probably prices will come down to. Plus now we do have a red owl. So that's an indication of validation to come down into this area here. Green PTF here, okay. Order block here, and that stopped it for now. All right, so is it possible to get one more high and have to redraw the fib retracements on the weekly? Sure, okay, anything's possible. All right, we had an order block here as well. So let's see, we haven't gotten really good rejection off the order blocks yet. So let's put this and look at it next week, okay? All right, Frank is back with QQQ. All right, short question mark. Let's see. All right, so we got a red PTF on the weekly, Frank, so I'm liking that. Buying at these upper levels here, okay, certainly more risky at this point. Certainly, if you were a stockbroker, you'd be calling your clients on every pullback, buy the dips and so forth. And that works great until guess what? The trend ends. Then all of a sudden, not such a good idea. All right. So what's going to happen with this? Well, we've got a pretty strong owl still on the Qs. I think probably we're going to see some more possible highs on the Qs, one more run up. We have fairly good bar down, manipulation bar here with no fair value gap except this little one here, actually. All right, it was actually, and this is kind of the interesting thing is you can tell a manipulation bar. See this bar here? Notice how it slammed down, then lo and behold, price is reversed. Why didn't it keep going? Well, you had a fair value gap here, and that did not hold. That's a parachute. You expect it to go here and down, right? So when it doesn't hold, that's called an inversion fair value gap. As soon as you get the close above here, you have a pretty good idea that this was a manipulation, okay, accumulation, and distribution, all right? So that's done, I think. So let's see what we got going on here for a short, all right? ABC down here. I'm a little bit, I think it's a little too soon to call for a short here, okay? Let's take a look at it next week. So I would hold off on that, okay? All right, anything else? Going once, going twice. Boy, these are good ones. So listen, we didn't really find any today for action, so to speak, but we did put a lot on the watch list today. So we put PSIX on the watch list, CYH, KTOS, okay, BTU, all right, and Tesla, TSLA. And so when we look at those next week, we may find those able to move on to the buy list, okay? So let's just be a little more patient. You know, a part of trading that's really hard is being patient, but that's part of trading. You have to be patient and wait for the right setup, okay? Otherwise, you're going to get hammered. All right, so anything else? All right, you guys are great, okay? Really, we looked at quite a few things today. Awesome. Good job bringing those to the table. All right, well, listen, I think that's it. All right, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next Friday. I'll put a little music on, and then we will go ahead and close the room. All right, so have a good one, and thanks so much for coming. Oh, and don't forget to give us a like, right? you.